Blended Kingdom Teens is all about the real-life struggles of living with divorced parents.
We give you honest conversation and practical tools for living out your identity and purpose as we chase after God together.
Hey BKT! What is up? It's Jerzi.
And Sydney.
We're back for, is this episode 5? Let's go.
Episode 5.
Excited.
Yes. Today's episode, we're going to get a little personal today. We're going to talk about something that's pretty personal to Jerzi. Jerzi's going to be doing most of the talking. I don't have any personal experience with this, so we're going to let her be all over this conversation and God all over it as well. Today, we're going to be talking about adoption, fostering, and like a blended family. We're talking about all of them.
Yeah.
What it looks like as far as somebody who does not only have divorced parents, step siblings, half siblings, but also adopted and fostered. You are all kinds of blended, girl.
Praise God.
So Jerzi has a 4-year-old adopted little brother, and she's had multiple foster siblings throughout the years. So why don't you just go ahead and tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So gosh, I have such a blessed, crazy, chaotic family. I'm so thankful for it because it's a part of my testimony. So 4 years ago, our family, we sat down and we decided that we want to foster, we want to love on the vulnerable children. And I'm going to start with this verse actually because it's just honestly the foundation of my family and our beliefs as Christians. But also the Bible tells us, James 1:27, it says, "Religion that is pure and undefiled before God the Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their affliction and to keep oneself unstained from the world." So we are called to love the orphan and the widow, right? That mom who is struggling but isn't able to keep their child. And so my family 5 years ago made the decision to start our process towards fostering, and it was so exciting, so crazy. We ended up adopting right off the bat through COVID. It was just the testimony of his birth and the fact that he is alive is so cool. And now he's my little brother, and I wouldn't change it for anything. But it's definitely been a lot through a divorced family. I personally am called into the foster care system. I feel very, very called to be a social worker, to be that part in that foster kid's life, to be that consistency, and hopefully share the Lord with them, the Lord's love. So it's been really, really hard because I do have a divorced family. And as we get foster siblings and as my adopted brother grows up, right, I'm leaving half the week. I'm going to my mom's. But the Lord has been so sweet to genuinely connect both of my families so well. My adopted brother, he calls my mom Aunt Mel, and I also have a 5-year-old brother, and so sometimes they have play dates. And it's the cutest thing ever, and I think it's so cool, and it just brings God's glory through my parents' divorce. It just shows that that the Lord can reign, that the Lord can be in such darkness. It took time for that to happen, but it's been so sweet seeing my stepmom's and my mom's relationship through us adopting and through us having foster kids. And it's so cool. So and I would say it's so cool because me and my older brothers have been able to be put in a position to lead our foster siblings. My parents are so sweet to be their guardians and take them in and buy all the things they might need and whatever it is, meet them right there in what this says, in their affliction, to meet them there, bring them into our home, share the love of the Lord with him, give them a bed and a roof. But my parents can only do so much. Me and my brothers get to be that young adult, that teen that can connect with them and that can go on walks with them, have those hard conversations. But it does make it hard because of my divorced family. I leave. I have my own in between, just like them. And it's been really cool to see those conversations between my foster siblings and them asking me all my questions about my divorced parents. So it's been crazy. But it is so sweet because the Lord's glory doesn't stop flowing out of my family's testimony, ever. yeah, so
there's like always a story to tell.
always.
Yeah. So for somebody whose family, I guess, is considering adoption or fostering, now or in the future, or they have and they don't anymore, what is something that you would tell like that sibling, just from what you've experienced with the whole situation? Because like I know about some of the foster kids, like just going in and out and whatnot. And so like what is something that you would tell somebody who will be a sibling to them? Like what's a piece of advice that you would give them for somebody who is coming into their house as another sibling? You could even take it into your parents giving that kid more attention than you.
Yeah.
Like take it where the Lord leads it.
Well, okay, so I personally feel like where we are called, our ministry, it starts with our family. Right? So I have the privilege to be a big sister and a little sister.
Yeah.
And that is my ministry. Like how I lead that, how I deal with that. But I would say there's this quote and it says, let me say it correctly. It says that family is more than DNA, but it isn't less than DNA.
Yeah.
So like your family is your family and that's not going to change. The Lord has given you your mom and your dad and your siblings and your step parents and everything. And it is so sweet that if they're considering fostering another child, like it is so sweet that you get to share that DNA with them. And like have an experience that they haven't been able to have yet. Like that is so like the gospel. Like it's hard and it's messy because fostering is messy.
Yeah.
It's hard. But the Lord is gracious and he gives you that inner circle, right? That we talked about in that last few episodes. Like he gives you that inner circle, those people around you that are going to support you. Like that is what hasn't stopped through us fostering. We have multiple families that are bringing us dinner when we get a new placement or that are like, hey, like we have kids that are same age to your foster kids. And if y'all need a break this weekend, like we would love for them to come over and hang out. Like there's so many things, God winks of the Lord just saying, I'm going to put people in your inner circle. You be obedient. You walk through this. But it's not going to be easy. Yeah. It's not going to be easy. But it's going to be part of your testimony and it's going to be so cool. Like I'm so thankful. But yes, have there been moments where I felt like my parents are giving my foster siblings more attention than me? Yes. Yeah. But do I feel okay? Like, is Jerzi okay? Is Jerzi just being a little selfish right now and she just wants her mom and her dad right now? Yeah. But then you think about that child and you're like, where are their mom and dad? Yeah. You know?
They want theirs too.
Like, they want theirs too. And, like, what is that child's story? Are you going to be a part of it or are you just going to sit on the couch and, like, be upset? Yeah. Like, the Lord's given you this ministry. And so, no, not all families are called to foster and adopt. But everyone's called to do something. Right. Right? So, like, there's families that do respite, who babysit for us every now and then, or we are respite for others, or there's families who bring us clothes and food whenever we get a new placement, and those kids don't have a lot of stuff. Like, not all families are called to foster and to adopt, but you're called to do something. Yeah. And so the overflow of my family's obedience and the opportunities that the Lord has given us has been me being called in the ministry to be a social worker. Yeah. And hopefully impact and be a part of other stories in a Christ-like way through the foster care system. Right. And the overflow of that is the fact that, you know, my older brother, he's married now, and they're probably going to adopt one day because they've seen the obedience and the yes of my dad and my stepmom. Right. And so I just think it's such an overflow. And the craziest part is that this story that I'm talking about right now is that none of it would have happened if, like, my parents didn't get divorced. Yeah. I was just so that's where you go into all those thoughts. You're like, where are my parents supposed to get divorced? Where they what? Yeah. Like, this is crazy. Like, yeah. And like, we know that the Lord, that's not his plan, right? His plan isn't for us to
just have divorced parents.
Fall into, like to go into that whole thing of having divorced families. And like, that's not his plan. But in the Bible, it says, that like what the devil intended for evil. Yeah. Well, the devil intended to hurt me, to tear me down, to break me. God intended for good.
Yeah, the Lord intended for good. Yeah.
And so I think that is just the testimony of my family's divorce, of everyone's, as the Lord is shaping it into what he has for it, for his glory. Like, that is so good that the devil intended this to hurt my family, right? Yeah. This divorce, this darkness, this evil, this sin, like he had that to hurt my family and to break them down and tear them away from the Lord. Yeah. But the Lord intended it for good. and now we're in this position where we get to love on foster kids and the widow and other families. So I'm so very thankful that is a part of my testimony.
Yeah. Snaps for that. This has been so good.
I didn't even get a Momo.
I'm so proud of you. You're not getting a Momo. A Momo means emotional, by the way.
By the way.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Like this, like coming from somebody who does not have foster or adoption in their family, like this is like such an eye opener to people who like have like the servant's heart, like an obedient heart to the Lord, to be able to do stuff like this. Like, even if it's not their own like will for their own life, it's the Lord's will. And so like, it's just so cool to get to see you. And like, I love, and I'm going to quote you on this for the rest of my life. I love how you said, it's like, none of this would have happened if my parents did not get divorced. And so it's so true. Like, you wouldn't have those siblings. You wouldn't have any of this. Like, life would be so different if your parents didn't get divorced. But the thing is like, your life is so much better because like you meet these people and these people are in your lives. And like, yes, there's hard moments, but like at the end of the day, God is still good because of what he has shown you in your life. And so I love that you said that, and I'm going to quote you forever and ever.
Please do. You can pay me.
Yes.
Hey, we love y'all so much.
Yes.
I'm so happy that y'all listened to this. And if this isn't your exact family, we just ask you to pray alongside of us for families who are fostering and adopting, and for those who are in the system and going through things that people will show them the light of Christ. So we cannot wait to see y'all in our next episode, episode 6. Tune in. It's going to be a good one. I'm not even telling you what it's called because you just got to show up.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. We love you guys. We cannot wait to see you in the next one. Remember to be strong and courageous.
Bye.
Bye.